Well, hey, Kevin.
What a bunch of beautiful human beings you just portrayed on that.
You know, I feel like I made that video. We played it before, but you know, I think we should probably uh, play it as often as possible. Thanking everybody for coming and playing with us when they don't have to. It is Fridays, and sometimes Fridays is not necessarily the best time to sit around and hang out on the computer and talk about vaping. But
Speaking of that, I'm going to apologize up front for the television and the grandchild playing around.
hey, Logan. But hey, life goes on. The world does not revolve around Son of Liberty Radio as much as I would like it to be.
I have no idea why I'm here every week. I don't even like you guys.
I know. Well, it's just me tonight. This is a secret in case everybody doesn't know. Fig is not here tonight, or Fig is not scheduled to be here tonight because today is his lovely wife Fabi's birthday. So if you are you Facebook friends with Fabi Ramsey, say that 3 times fast. You should be saying happy birthday, Fabi, in the chat room, and tag her if you can, because it is her 25th birthday.
Fig is banned.
Fig is if Fig shows up tonight, I'm gonna lose respect for him.
There's a temporary ban, and that's that. Fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Emily says that your volume is too low, but in my headphones you sound perfectly fine. Just if you need to, just nudge it up a little bit. Just nudge it, the volume, not the gain.
Yep.
And Victor is also in the chat. There's not everybody is not here yet, but hey, if you're in the room and you want to share it to your places of sharing, go ahead. I actually didn't even build the show until earlier this afternoon or earlier today. So the scheduled post that normally is up there didn't get put up in time, and I didn't share it to all the normal places that I normally do. I could do it. Let me here. I'll share it to a couple places real quick while we're yapping. I have to change my identity on Facebook though, so that I don't. Well, if Fig shared it, then we'd have 100 people in the room.
I know. Hi, Chris.
But it is what it is. And like I said, there's a lot of shit going on. I had invited your favorite woman from Colorado.
Yeah, no, really?
And she's actually, she had a flight. She's just getting on an airplane right now. I had invited her to come on and talk about Colorado, but since she's busy and she's doing other important things, she's unable to. But she did give me a little bit of a kind of an update of what's going on. So I will be able to speak a little bit on that, not a whole lot, because she didn't give me a whole lot of detail. But yeah, Colorado is going to be, it's in the crosshairs right now because somebody wants to try to put a crazy tax on open vapor products while giving Big Tobacco, Altria, a coupon, tax coupon, so that they don't have to pay as much taxes. So it's disturbing. And we'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Emily, yes, our new to diva. Wait, something for that. Where did it go?
I don't know what you're talking about with your weird shorthand. It's nut toe. And I didn't even think about offering Jordan a seat at the table tonight, but Amanda Wheeler is on a plane, or getting on a plane, either right now or just a little while ago or in a few minutes. So she couldn't.
He should be fixing supper. See,
Victor's now saying that your mic is low.
Oh, I'll bump it again. There we go. How's
because you're really loud in my ears.
Bing, bang, boom, bong.
Or you're too far away from your mic.
I could be. How about that?
Oh, there you go.
All right. I'll twist it a little. I don't mind.
Sound like you're like punching somebody. There's in the back every time you move the mic.
And just for the record, this is a public service announcement. Stop adding people to groups per Davey.
No. Actually, add Kevin to as many groups as you want.
No.
Yeah.
That's too simple.
Actually, just create groups to add Kevin to.
No, I'm in too many. Way too many. I don't even like these people. I don't even comment on them most of the time.
Mark Sliss loves you. He's in the chat room, and you just told him, even though he has Caitlyn Jenner as his profile picture.
All right, now that's up a little higher.
I think you sound good.
Okay.
I think you need to be up on it.
Ooh, right up on it. Is that better?
That's better.
Test 1, 2, 3.
So, in a unpaid product placement, I got something this week, Kevin, and I think you will love it.
All right.
I think you will love it. This is the new Innikin Cool Fire Mini.
Okay.
With Demetrius's Zlide tank on it.
Yep.
It is an internal battery, so you just plug it in and charge it in. And I'm telling everybody I know, I spoke to, I'm not going to say who I spoke to today, but I got an email from an e-liquid company that had put a deal on their website for a device, a tank, and 2 bottles of juice for a certain price. And it was a device that I had never used, and it was a tank that I had never heard of. And I replied to them, I didn't reply. I messaged them, and I was like, dude, you really need to think about talking to Demetrius and Phil and see if you can get some sort of package deal for starters. Cause this is an amazing, I mean, it's a drop-in coil. It's the Zenith technology, the Zenith coil. But this little thing right here is hand friendly. It's tiny. It runs, obviously I've already raved about the Zenith coil and the Zlide tank. This is a great thing if you're trying to convert smokers. This little package right here is, the way to go.
Janice got a Breeze Aspire 2. She's been using the regular one, whatever that is. I don't have mine in front of me.
So
she loves it. Loves it.
This is the Breeze Aspire, the Aspire Breeze 2.
That's okay. That's what she literally got yesterday, and she's like all over it.
And this is the Aspire Nautilus.
Okay, and that's what I have. AOI.
Yeah. I love this little thing. I mean, it's form factor wise, this is pocket friendly. You could, this is it. For if you're just in a rush. But compare. I mean, if you think about it, it's really not that much bigger, right?
Nope.
And nobody paid me or gave me anything to promote or say anything. I just I got this. I bought these from Element Vape because there's a coupon code for 20% off of your purchase of the Cool Fire Mini. Mm-hmm.
Big Bernie.
That's weird. Okay, so I haven't done anything to my settings, and there Bill just messaged me and said that my mic is 10 times louder than your mic.
Oh, I'm only halfway up.
Well, go up and see if that.
Bing, bing, bing. That's all the way. Well, that's not all the way up. It's up pretty good.
So Tommy Kursop, can you say whether if he suddenly got louder?
I like getting louder. I just don't want to blow you out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's correct, Emily. That's why we can't have nice things. I did rub it, Chris. Bruni found us. Paul, leave me alone.
Okay, so I got a thumb. I got one thumb. I asked
There
Thomas,
we go.
and Thomas wouldn't even respond. He's not. He must be angry with me or something. So Chris responded with a thumbs up. So I'm assuming that your volume got better.
So happy 21st birthday to Fabi.
Yeah.
If Fig shows up in the chat, tell him to leave. He's not allowed to be here.
Yeah. Well,
That message has been sponsored.
I just, if he shows up, I'll just leave him backstage until he leaves.
Admonish.
Yeah, if he shows up, I'm just not even going to add him to the stream. I'm going to let him sit backstage, and I won't add him, and then he'll get the message he should be spending time with his wife. But you never know. She may not want to spend time with him.
Only if she allows it, and only if she's in the chat room saying so everybody knows he's allowed. Other than that, nope. So what's going on this week?
Well, there, we got vapey stuff, but hey, I guess the big news, the one that's going to get a lot of upsetness. This is the one that we've been saying is a big deal. Because Kevin just went away. So until he returns, well, okay.
I'm here.
Okay, he's listening.
Not quite sure what's going on.
What did you do? Did you turn your camera off?
No, just
there he goes. Hey, I don't have a gain setting, and I know I told you to turn your gain down.
Yep.
Turn your gain back up and drop your volume down just like 2 notches.
Okay.
Oh,
no. Too much. All right. Right about there. 1, 2, 3. Dropping it down. 1, 2, 3.
There.
Okay. And then drop the volume down.
Just a hair.
Just a hair. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a hair.
All right.
Stop playing with my hair.
All right. So everyone that's given me technical advice in private message, one of you tell me if he sounds better now.
Ding, ding-a-ling. I've decided Professor Glantz is the Jeffrey Epstein of research. And you can quote me on that.
Well,
bing, bang, boom.
Way better, Bill says. Bill says way better.
I trust Bill. I don't trust you.
Well. And Thomas just made a new group with us.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I think we've got enough feedback on the volume that we can move on. Hey, did you know that there's this thing? We've talked about it a bunch of times on the show.
Yeah.
Called the Master Settlement Agreement.
No, what is that?
It's this deal that cigarette makers made to protect their brands by bribing the governments of 46 states.
What? What did that do for them?
Well, it protected their brand, and they will never ever be banned in the United States.
You're kidding.
Yes. No, it's actually true. It's actually true.
This can't be true. I'm gonna have to fact check this with Google.
You're gonna have to do some Google foo. But guess what?
What?
Guess what? RJ Reynolds.
Friday.
No.
RJ, yeah, go ahead.
RJ Reynolds wants to get out of their deal.
This is gonna be funny.
RJ Reynolds wants to get out of their deal. So I'm gonna rub this just so that they'll get a little bit bigger.
I hope you can tell me why they're unhappy.
Well,
this is Florida, so this is different from the other 46 states.
Right. This is one of the other states that has their own independent agreement with the state. The state, yeah. So RJ Reynolds wants out of a historic tobacco settlement with Florida government, who will foot the $100 million bill.
Smokers.
Well, that's true. It is a case that demonstrates how the wording of an old contract, even if it is one of the largest court-approved settlements in U.S. history, can come back to haunt its parties later on. And whatever the outcome, someone's going to be unhappy. So I'm going to scroll past the picture of the cool menthols.
Now I have a question. I don't know this. So because I'm an idiot and others may or may not know, is each of the four, what is it? Texas, Florida, and I can't remember.
There are other states.
Are those four separate contracts in addition to the original, or are those four of the same contracts for those four states?
Texas, Mississippi, Florida, and I can't remember the other one. There's a fourth one. Each had their own agreements prior to the MSA.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Thank you.
So they didn't need to have, they didn't need to sign on because they already had agreements. Mm-hmm. So an $11.3 billion settlement agreement from 1997 between Florida's government and a group of tobacco companies was in the spotlight Tuesday when the 4th District Court of Appeal considered whether R.J. Reynolds should continue paying millions of dollars a year for cigarette brands it no longer owns. So they used to manufacture certain brands. I believe Cool was one of them. Salem, Winston, and Maverick.
Yep. And Maverick. Yeah, I remember Maverick.
They used to manufacture those brands when they had this agreement, and they no longer make those cigarettes anymore or sell those cigarettes anymore, but they still have to make payments.
Because a generation ago, the government fucked smokers. Correct.
Right. So in oral arguments via Zoom, because that's how they do these things these days, on Zoom, R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company asked the court to reverse a trial court ruling, finding it's responsible for all state payments related to Salem, Winston, Cool, and Maverick. R.J. Reynolds argued it washed its hands of those brands in 2015 when its parent company sold them to ITG brands owned by Imperial.
Are they double dipping? Is the state of Florida double dipping?
No, because ITG wasn't part of the 1997 agreement in which R.J. Reynolds and other firms agreed to reduce advertising and pay the state $11.3 billion over 25 years in exchange for relief from liability and health costs stemming from smoking-related illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
More than 100 million plus millions of annual payments in perpetuity is at stake. Yes, in perpetuity means forever. To R.J. Reynolds, according to R.J. Reynolds, whose attorney Elliot Shirker of Greenberg Tarag in Miami pointed out that the argument never included a brand transfer clause.
Tisk.
Yeah. What it did include was market share as the sole basis for proportional payments under the Florida settlement agreement. Cigarettes shipped in the United States, it cannot be that RLR, which no longer manufactures or ships these brands, is still liable for payments on shipments of those brands. So if ITG sells these cigarettes in Florida, whatever the percentage of market share that they're selling. So if they're selling tons of Cools and tons of Winstons in Florida, if ITG Imperial is, then RJR has to make payments based on the sales of somebody else's product.
Well, that's not right.
I actually am laughing hysterically.
Took him a little while to figure this out, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's what year is it now?
2020.
And
97.
They stopped selling them. No, they stopped selling them in 2015 though. So they've been making payments for 5 years.
So there's going to be a refund. There's going to be a
for
big
product that
refund.
They don't manufacture.
And then they're going to try to recoup it from whatever the other. Oh, that's good. I like this. What a mess.
Yeah. So Shirker, I'm going to call this guy Shirker. Shurker argued neither party is responsible because the purchase agreement only transferred RJR protections against liability to ITG and didn't make it a successor to the settlement. So if the judge rules in favor of RJR, the state owes that money back to RJR, but Imperial does not have to pay them back.
Oh, that's going to suck, isn't it? And in the process, what happens to the consumers who are not allowed to sue? Now, can they? Because the contract's up.
No, the protections that just said the protections did transfer with ownership,
okay.
But the financial responsibility did not.
Wink, wink.
Is what the lawyers arguing, at least.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, Shurker said his client still pays attorney's fees related to the settlement because we agreed to do it, and said it has paid Lorillard Tobacco Company's share of the settlement money since their $27 billion merger in 2015. But Shurker said nothing in their agreement mentions an obligation to pay the state based on ITG's cigarette sales.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. What a fine mess we've gotten ourselves into, Ollie.
We found the other state, Minnesota. It's right there. So, according to the government, Florida Solicitor General Amit Agarwal said that RJ Reynolds got its way. This really should spell the end of the entire agreement. If the judge throws out these payments from RJR, that's going to negate the entire. He's arguing to get the judge to negate or vacate the entire thing. Then all the protections return back to consumers. The 5 years of payments go back to RJR, and then they got to litigate all over again. Or RJR can get Florida to sign on to the master settlement agreement.
But then
they don't get all their payments from the other year. So,
I wonder how they're going to budget their woes.
Wow. This is
because woes.
I am not defending RJR in any way, shape, or form for their past horrible activities, but I would be pissed off if I had to pay a fine or fees on something I no longer produced or sold, and I still had to pay for that other company.
So I have keep going. I'll find. I can't find it in my bookmarks.
Okay. Well, it's undisputed that 16 billion cigarettes a year sold continue to be sold under the transferred brands. So 16 billion cigarettes a year from Winston-Salem, Kool, and Maverick in the state of Florida. That's a lot of cigarettes.
All right, so I've got the chart. I'm not going to share it, but Florida, A, B, C, D, E, F, there it is. So from 98 to 2006, I guess it's 4,921,000,000. So we're at, this is the rub, folks, $9,381,000,000 total. $9,381,000,000, and what they spend on state tobacco prevention, according to my favorite nonprofit political front group, Tobacco Free Kids, is $70 million. $9.3 billion with a B. They spend $70 million, and
That's actually 70 million more than I thought they did.
It's not a whole lot, and I'm going to link that in the chat if I can figure out how to switch my screens. Oh crap, Jerry's in the room. So if you're a business and you guys want to have a talking point to your lawmakers / local councils, that is a really, really good source to show what they actually spend as opposed to what they actually make in every freaking state. This was raping us as smokers. All the years you smoked, you paid into it, and they like to make it look like they're against the tobacco companies. Tobacco companies aren't paying this; they're passing it through. They're collecting it from you.
The consumer is paying it,
and they're paying it back to the states. That's what they're doing.
I mean, all RJR is doing is they're acting as the middleman.
Yeah.
And collecting the money to give to the government.
They're the go-between, and the government sells the cigarettes. Period.
But yeah, I mean, I actually, I actually feel a little bad for RJR, just, but not enough to give a shit, really. But
why? Why?
Well, I hopefully one of these days, everybody that smokes Winston, Cool, or Salem, or Maverick will go into a vape shop and buy something like this. Maybe not this, because this is fancy schmancy.
That's advanced.
But maybe something like this.
Yeah.
Something like this.
I'm a big fan of Egos and Simple Tanks. I still have. Literally in my bag, I still have bags of CE4s. I don't go anywhere without them as a backup, because if an Aspire tank that I love goes out, I got backups myself. So the Ego batteries are
backups for your backups, my friend.
Absolutely. So yeah, what's Bill's usually pretty on.
I got backups for my backups right here.
Yep. And probably everybody in the room does, but if anybody listening
that doesn't help smokers though.
No.
I mean,
I was surprised.
Not everybody has a Lost Vape Centurious just sitting on their desk.
No.
Or
38 different bottles of liquid.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Just on your desk.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 bottles of e-liquid on my desk right now.
Write it down. I was wrong. I said 38. Either way, and that's not including over there on the shelf for you. I know you got a shelf. But I ordered something from Columbus yesterday because I was up there last year and I got some. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get some more. I like it. So it's that old familiar taste I like.
Hey, if speaking of plugging, if you want to order something, Dash Vapes has this really cool liquid that Demetrius created called Cool Citrus in the unsalted line.
Cool Citrus.
Yes, Cool Citrus.
I heard he was ghosting this week.
I don't know.
Something like that.
I saw him like posting food a while ago, so
I know. Stop adding him to groups, and happy birthday to Fabi.
Yes, everybody in the room that's currently in the room, if you follow or are friends with Fabi Ramsey, you should type in this room right now, happy birthday, and tag Fabi, just to let her know that we're with her on her 25th birthday.
And we don't want to see Fig.
Yes, and Fig is not invited.
Nope, we don't like him. He's been banned.
Yeah. If it was my wife's birthday, I wouldn't be here.
Nope, not a bit. That's very flashy, Patrick. 56. Chris Charlton has 56 models.
Look at that. Jordan Wheeler, you did exactly what I told you to do. And I guess your wife is not available because she's in a plane.
And you should be cooking supper for her.
Logan is very upset about having to go to sleep.
He's just upset because he was in his pen.
That's the way I sound when somebody wakes me up.
Troop's in the room. Jerry and Troop are in the room, and Bruni's in the room, and Paul's in the room. So Jordan's in the room. Jordan needs to fix supper. Yeah,
no, Jordan. Jordan is a bachelor tonight. I know because I invited his wife, and she told me that she was going to be on a plane. So either she fibbed at me or like he's a bachelor or one of the two. And I don't think she would fib at me.
She's got as many frequent flyer miles as probably Demetrius and Greg past year.
Well, I don't think anybody's collecting that many frequent flyer miles.
That's true.
But she's on her way home apparently. So he's been a bachelor.
Yeah.
But hey, I know that there's at least one Canadian in the chat room.
Uh-oh.
So Yes,
Uh-oh.
Jordan says she is actually on the plane right now. So yeah, since there's at least one Canadian in the chat room, I saw this article, and I am not going to agree to cookies because that is the stupidest thing ever. So the headline says that Alberta is pushes review of proposed vaping regulations. Alberta, that's in Canada. The province of Alberta is hoping to crack down on teenage vaping. Those damn Canadian teenagers. They're ruining it for all the American kids. That's the real problem. The government announced last October that it is looking into regulating vaping under similar restrictions currently imposed upon smoking. As the province's smoking and tobacco legislation does not specifically address vaping, hookah, and water pipe use. A review of the proposed regulations was conducted between October 25th and December 4th, with around 250 people participating in 41 consultation sessions. A release from the province of Alberta, Canada states, and I added the word Canada because I just want everybody to know Alberta, Canada. 9,500 people responded to an online survey. This proposed legislation sends a strong message to youth and anyone who thinks it is okay to supply them with vaping products. There will be fines for possession and consumption, said Minister of Health Tyler Shandro in the release. Guess what? I totally support that. If you're a kid and you get caught with vaping, there should be some sort of fine and punishment. If you're somebody that sells to a kid, there should be some sort of fine and punishment.
So I'm okay with something that won't continue to stay on their record.
Well, I mean, most minor offenses that you perform as a minor get sealed when you're 18 anyway.
Right. That's I'm okay with. If it's a $500 fine and Karen has to come up with $500, her kid will quit.
Yeah, Tommy says this will never happen, but it's a good idea. I like this idea. I like punishing the bad actors. I like putting some kids on, as an example to the other kids. Well, I'm not gonna try vaping because I don't want to pay a $500 fine.
Exactly.
Or have to perform 100 hours of community service or whatever the punishment is. Because
they don't want to blame the retailers in the United States. I can't speak for Canada. They do not want to blame retailers, period. Sign our amendment, period.
See,
they do not want to blame the children, period.
So here in some of the states, if a kid gets caught with tobacco, there's $100 fine, and then they have to go to a tobacco education seminar
where they can see more tobacco. Yes.
Whatever. I mean, now every state is different, but I know that they have a program here. If you're a minor and you get caught, you have to get spanked. You have to. But
rightly so.
And definitely we should find. I have no problem with gigantic fines for vape shops or cigarette shops selling to kids. I have no problem with that at all. I think these warning letters that they get is a joke. I think they should get one warning letter. Hey, we caught you. Don't do it again.
Within 2 years, and don't quote me because I don't have it in front of me. The first is a warning. The second, within 2 years, I think it may be 3. I don't know if they changed that part or not. I didn't look. But the second one is like a $500 fine.
No.
They get 2 warnings.
They get like 7 warnings.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No. See, in my opinion, if you're running a business and you're giving to minors and you or your staff don't do the right thing, you better have a bond because you're going to pay $1,000 the first time you're going to pay $1,000.
I don't have the tweet here, but Greg actually did a tweet a while back, and he had gone through like all of the different states and stuff. And I think there was one state that had 7. If you got caught 7 times, then you would be in trouble.
Sign our amendment, folks. If you're in business, bring that up. They don't know about it. They don't know about half of these people aren't old enough to know about the master settlement agreement. And the other half have no idea.
Well, half of them actually negotiated the master settlement agreement, and then the other half are too new to know about it. Yeah. But they
don't understand it. They don't care,
and they don't care. They literally don't care. It's a good talking point. It's something that they can do, and it gives them a little bit of like public, gives them a public mission. Oh, well, I'm the one that saved your children. Vote for me.
Talking,
because we've talked about it before on the show. Regardless of how smart, intelligent, and informed you are as a human being, somebody mentions your child and that your child is at risk, then you get nervous. Mamas specifically, but daddies do it too. You threaten my kid, I'm going to shoot you, or I'm going to, somebody says, oh, they're coming for your kids. That brings up like a visceral reaction. Like you want to protect your family. You want to protect your kid. And
Bill has a great point. They pass the laws and do no enforcement. Then they penalize the legit shops. And then along with that, people are going to still get it off the black market. It doesn't matter. Kids. I was sitting down at the bus station selling a cigarette for $0.25 a cigarette, So there
we talked about when I was younger and didn't maybe have as much money as I do now. Obviously I have a good job. I make decent money now. I would literally, if I didn't have cigarettes, I was going through the ash can or the looking for butts that still had a little bit of tobacco on there to smoke.
Yeah.
No
question. I thought my dad's out of his ashtray. Old gold 100s for you old people. And then he switched to rallies, and I didn't like those, so I just bought my own.
Got a rallies?
Rally.
Like Raleigh Durham, or rally as in like a race car rally?
No, Durham, as in Durham.
So Raleigh.
Rally. Depends on where you're from, Patrick.
I'm thinking of like rally cars, and you're thinking of Raleigh Durham. Okay.
This happy birthday Fabby message has been brought to you by CASA.
Yes. Everyone should be saying happy birthday to Fabby. And making sure to tag her. Not just type her name, but make sure that she actually gets an alert saying happy birthday.
And Mark, some law-breaking kids get a trip to the White House and get selfies with Jerry. That's correct.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
What an idiot.
Yeah. I'm going to actually highlight that comment so that it gets, recorded for posterity.
Doesn't taste good, but it looks nice on paper. That one does. It's exactly what happens. In fact, he was so happy about hating and banning things in Shreveport, they banned smoking from casinos. And they, during their tobacco control meeting of some sort that they have every month, they applauded. So he's too stupid to not tweet it. He tweeted that. So there's your freedom, folks.
Freedom fries.
Yeah.
Freedom fries.
Bernie's selling them for 20 cents.
So, in California, there's a lot of like really shitty laws.
No.
There's a lot of like taxes and it's bans and all stuff. But Los Angeles County, there's a little city, and some people in the Antelope Valley Press are reporting that vaping advocates are pushing back in federal court against the newly enacted Palmdale City Ordinance banning the sale of flavored e-cigarette products. Court papers obtained Monday's show. So the suit filed by the California Smoke and Vape Association and tobacco retailer Cigs Plus against this city. So, the suit filed by California Smoke and Vape Association, tobacco retailer, and Cigs Plus against the city alleges the law is overboard and will destroy Palmdale's nicotine vapor product industry and damage the livelihoods of the workers that it employs. The Los Angeles federal court complaint filed Sunday also contends that the ordinance will likely precipitate a public health crisis as vapor product users turn either to combustible cigarettes or to black market sources to obtain vapor tobacco products. Hey, Kevin, do you remember there's a guy named Mitch Zeller, and he stood up in front of the Senate Help Committee,
Yep.
and said, "Oh no, we don't. There won't be a black market." You remember that?
There is no black market. There's no such thing. What are you talking about, Patrick?
Yeah, he said that. He said that like 4 years ago in front of the Senate Help Committee that there would be no black market for vaping products.
Never.
That they had researched it and could prove that there would be no black market.
No.
Yeah,
that makes Karen feel better.
Yeah, a member of the Palmdale City Attorney's Office said the office had not yet received the complaint and declined comment. The law intends to curb tobacco use among youth and also prohibits the sale of tobacco and menthol-flavored vaping products. What? Oh, and also prohibits. Yes, prohibits. Prohibits means you can't have it, right?
That's correct.
So the law to curb tobacco use amongst youth and also prohibits the sale of tobacco and menthol-flavored vaping products. So what are they going to if they ban all flavors and prohibit tobacco and menthol flavors? There's literally nothing for vape shops to sell.
They're inhibiting smoking.
No, because inhibit also means the same thing as prohibit. They're both, an inhibitor stops things and prohibiting stops things.
Yeah.
So yeah. It actually amplifies the sale of cigarettes because cigarettes are still going to be legal to be sold.
Well, they don't want a black market for cigarettes,
Well, they're going to have one, and they already have one anyway.
They do.
Maybe not as big as New York City, but California has a cigarette black market. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, New York City doesn't have one. Ask Eric Garner. Oh, wait. They killed him.
Yep. We've had the government standing on our throat for a while. So
long fucking time.
I'm not comparing what we've gone through to what he's gone through because that is a false equivalency, people.
No.
But we understand their tactics and how they work, and it's not exactly the same thing. But we know the government is not here to help.
Neither is tobacco control in any form. None. Zero.
Yeah.
None.
So the law I already said that, right? Yeah. So, which have little to no effect on the recent increase in youth tobacco. So the law, what it says here, the law intends to curb tobacco use amongst youth and also prohibits the sale of tobacco and menthol flavored vaping products, which have little to no effect on the recent increase of youth tobacco consumption, the lawsuit alleges. The ban, approved by the city council 6 months ago, is aimed at the fruit and candy flavored products popular amongst high school aged youth and adults who want to quit smoking.
Right, because now the law is 21, and you know how those kids are. They're resourceful. So
the complaint seeks a court order permanently halting the enforcement of the law and reimbursement of legal fees. Literally, if you don't give people options, if you remove every option, I vape tobacco, I'm vaping 5 Ponds King Side tobacco right now. But I'm not everybody. And if you remove every option, people are going to go back to the deadly combustible cigarettes that they were smoking before.
That old familiar tune.
Plain and simple, California needs some budget money. They need a little bit extra cash in the general fund. So let's sell some more cigarettes. So let's take away the thing that we are not making that much money from. Because, yes, there is a vape tax in California, but it's not making them nearly the amount of money that cigarettes will.
No, not until, well, it's already deemed tobacco since 2016. That was National Tobacco Day, August 8th.
Well, it was deemed in 2014.
Correct.
2016 was when they said you can't bring out anything after this date.
So I use the 2016 date. So National Tobacco Day. So it's deemed tobacco, which it's not. Now it's deemed tobacco, so it can be taxed like tobacco. So Demetrius put something about MSA2 coming for this. Well, look at Florida. We just talked about Florida, so there you go.
There's not going to, well, possibly, may not be a Florida settlement agreement in existence anymore. Maybe.
I about pissed my pants when I saw that. Maybe.
So for like 5 minutes, the cigarette companies are going to be like, woo! But then after that, it's done. It's done.
I'm kind of looking forward to it because it's a challenge, first of all, for the state and whatever that wench's name is down there, the attorney general's going goofy. It'll open some eyes to some people, and it'll maybe take the heat off of vaping, at least in Florida, for a time. I hope. I doubt it, but I hope.
Maybe.
Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Maybe. I've been wrong before.
More than once.
Oh, today.
Maybe in the last hour. You've probably been
figs on Twitter because I just saw him tag something.
Well, he can be wooing and schmoozing and still use one thumb to tweet. You know.
Oh my!
He better be wooing and schmoozing at least, because if he shows up, I am not adding him to the stream.
And happy birthday to Fabby, which is brought to you by Glance as an Asshole.
You know, if you're gonna do a commercial like that, you could actually say Demand Vape or Feels Good Vapor or one of our actual supporters.
Fine.
Just saying, you know. Because I gave free commercials to Dash Vapes already, to Inikin, to who else? Oh, I threw up a 5 pawns on the screen a while ago, or on the, I had it in my hand. So yeah, we're doing product placement for free. We should stop that.
Fine.
So speaking of crappy laws, there's one in Massachusetts.
Oh, Taxachusetts. I'm from Taxachusetts.
Oh, I knew there was something wrong with you. So
I fucking hate that state.
Scroll up. This is from the Sun, which is odd because this is.
There's no black market. What are they talking about?
There's no sun in Massachusetts. But anyway, vape law seen as bolstering a $10 billion illegal market. So we scroll past the person with the either that is an old picture, or that's a concentrate pen. I can't tell. I don't know enough about that. They do look very similar. That CE4 looking thing could be a CE4, or it could be some sort of atomizer for concentrate. But anyway, I don't know.
Jeremy, is that a dab pen right there? Go back up just a bit. Yeah, is that a dab pen to you? Nope. He says no.
So that must be a CE4 then. I mean, obviously your druggy son would know what one looks like.
Yes, he would. Not that he would ever know for sure, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's weird.
He has friends. There's no black market, Patrick. What are you talking about? What's this illegal shit? 10 billion? 10 billion? I'm in the wrong world. What's going on?
So anyway, it says here, Boston responding to the state's illegal tobacco task force request. Responding to the state's okay, that's what it says. Illegal tobacco task force request for input on how its member agencies should go about enforcing the new law restricting the sale of flavored tobacco products. A handful of retired law enforcement and regulatory officials who now have we already talked kind of about this already, right?
Yeah, we did.
I sort of remember this now.
The state has an illegal tobacco tax. That's a Freudian slip. Illegal tobacco task force. But there's
forces. No, their request was illegal, is what they're saying. Responding to the state's illegal. Oh, you know what it is? They have a task force that is about illegal tobacco.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Mitch just
so I thought they were the state's task force was illegal.
yeah. Well, good. I was right and you were wrong for a change. But I thought there was no black market. Please continue. This is
The law, which was passed in November and took effect in full Monday, made Massachusetts the first state in the country to prohibit the retail sale of flavored vaping products and flavored tobacco products, including menthol cigarettes. Flavored tobacco will not entirely be forbidden in Massachusetts. It will be allowed for sale exclusively for on-site consumption at the state's 26 licensed smoking bars. So, like cigar bars.
yes.
That you can go, they can still continue to sell premium flavored cigars or cigars that have characterizing flavors, because there are some, like for example, I used to smoke Rum Runner cigars, which are soaked in rum, which would be a characterizing flavor, even though it's not a fruity flavor. Now they do have those. I never did that, but they have like rum and amaretto soaked. Some of them, I believe, Acid used to make a chocolate cigar. So when the guys would come in and their wives would come in with them, the ladies would smoke the chocolate cigars.
Read that last line to me.
The last line of that paragraph?
Yeah, the new law also imposes a 75% excise tax on vaping products.
Yes.
But they can't.
So I had to read that for you. You read it.
But they can't get taxes on a black market. I'm confused. Are they upset about this?
No, vaping products that are still legal. So they're going to 75% the tobacco that is still legal, the tobacco flavor that is legal,
which nobody wants,
and
12% or less,
and the hardware.
12% on my survey. I think it was 10 or 11 on the 2013 Moffitt survey, which was NIH sponsored, I believe, that Ed actually turned me on to, that Bill Godsall reported about in
Crazy Bill.
Crazy Bill, I love Bill. So 12% of the people, of the 100% that are buying vaping liquid, like tobacco, average, give or take. It might be 10, it might be 7, it might be 14, but they're not going to make a whole lot of money. So obviously there's going to be a black market. And
well, okay. So let me put this out there. This is just a theory. This is my theory. Older people that vape, a lot of them still vape tobacco. Not all of them. I'm not saying that every old person, me and you, still vape tobacco flavors.
Yep.
And we generally don't consume as much product as the younger people that volume vape, that sub-ohm, that do those things. So we are not necessarily a vape shop's favorite customers, because we only come in once a month. You know, if I buy a 60 ml bottle, I might come in twice a month. High
nic, low volume.
Right.
That's all it is.
We are a very low percentage. Demetrius loves menthol. Like if you gave him a really powerful menthol that didn't have any other flavor in it, just menthol, that was really cool. Like it had like what do they call it? WS-23. There's a cooling additive that he can get a menthol kick and that cooling agent. He's fine. He's not necessarily the most. He's not the one that most vape shops want either, because that's one flavor, and he's happy.
Yeah. That Mark likes flavors, period. And he's a madman.
And I didn't say anything negative about people that do vape a lot of liquid. I'm just saying that guys like us that do vape tobaccos, we buy 2 bottles a month, maybe. I have 26 bottles in front of me, but I stick to the same 2 or 3 flavors. I might vape something for a little while and then stop. And when I get my new flavor perfected,
Yeah, I had this discussion with Mike Peterson, Dave Gorlitz, and James Jarvis up in Columbus. That because everybody says, what are you using and this and that. And I said, I'm I'm your vape shop's worst nightmare. I'm on 18 and I'm on tobacco. And I did a tour of James's, that specific store, and he had up to, I think he was at 24 was his high. So
back in old timey days.
Year and a few months ago. Long time ago to me. Yeah. So Char's in the room, and we are not her favorite customer.
Well, we're not her favorite customer because she's way far away, and compared to like my distance to her is only like 2.5 hours or 2 hours or something like that. You're like 28 hours away from her, so you
won't make the drive. What's wrong with you?
I'm lazy.
Okay, all right.
I totally admit that. So let's see, where did it go? La.
Say hi to Elmo. Here, buddy.
Elmo.
Come here.
Yeah. It says here, much of the testimony during the meeting of the Department of Revenue's Illegal Tobacco Task Force focused on the increase in illicit market activity that will result from making the sale of popular products like menthol cigarettes illegal. The task force itself concluded that the new law will lead to an increase in smuggling activity and black market sales. No way.
They haven't mentioned the kids yet. What's going on?
No way. I'm concerned that placing an added burden and tasking law enforcement with the enforcement of flavor bans will only stand to create a significant new black market. This includes both cross-state border smuggling and counterfeit tobacco, says Charles Giblin, a retired special agent in charge of the New Jersey Treasury's Office of Criminal Investigation. So Treasury...
Criminal.
The Department of the Treasury, they deal with counterfeit products, counterfeit money, protecting the president. The Secret Service is part of Treasury. They're like one of those weird law enforcement branches. But yeah. But no. Mitch Zeller said, like 4 years ago, there won't be a tobacco black, or there won't be a vaping black market. It's never going to happen.
Well, there's no tobacco black market either.
No, yeah. So Giblin, that guy that just made that comment, he does work for Altria.
Mm-hmm.
But you do know that a black market also cuts into tobacco cigarette manufacturers' bottom line as well, right?
No. Well, they wouldn't want to protect that, would they? Wow. But wait, there's more.
There's more. Rub it and it'll get bigger.
And just for the record, when I lived in Massachusetts as a young man, I never once went to New Hampshire and bought tobacco or alcohol, ever. Never.
I used to live on the border of Pennsylvania and Maryland, and in Pennsylvania, you can't get fireworks for one thing. You can't buy Everclear. You can't buy alcohol over 100 proof. So if I wanted my Bacardi 151 or Everclear or fireworks, I had to drive across the border into Maryland.
No.
Yes. And what's really funny is when you cross that border, if you cross into West Virginia, because they're really close, there's like a tri-state area there. If I go into West Virginia, I can go right into 7-Eleven and buy Jack Daniels right there in the 7-Eleven. Yeah. In Pennsylvania, you actually have to go to the package store.
Yes,
for booze.
It's a package.
And if you want to buy beer, you actually have to go to the beer distributor.
Ooh.
You can't buy it all in one place.
At the time I was in Mass, you could buy beer anywhere. And the package store was alcohol.
Yeah, no.
Period. But yeah.
Now, if you go to a restaurant bar, you can buy all of it in one place. Right. And they have a 6-pack law where you can buy a 6-pack at the restaurant or bar and take it home. But if you want to buy beer, you got to go to the beer distributor. If you're having a party, you have to go to the beer distributor. You got to go to the wine store, and then you got to go to the package store to buy the alcohol, the booze. So you got to go to 3 different stores to buy stuff for your party. Crazy. So anyway, at the onset, you'll start to see an increase between Massachusetts and New Hampshire in smuggling and illegal importation via the internet of counterfeit flavored cigarettes from countries including China and Paraguay. They will skyrocket almost incredibly instantaneously, he said. Another underestimated source will be the Canadian First Nations reservation cigarette manufacturers, who are rather robust. So Canadian tribal, because First Nations are the tribal peoples of Canada. I didn't know that Canada had. Do they have reservations in Canada like they do here, or how does that work? I don't know. My Canadians in the room, tell me how that works in Canada.
Look who opposes it. Huh.
Well, though much of the input came from people or groups opposed to the law, Mark Himovitz of the American Cancer Society Action Network.
What?
American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network asked that the task force keep public health front and center as it considers the best ways to enforce the law.
Huh.
So they think that police officers have all this extra time to go around arresting people selling counterfeit cigarettes.
Ne'er-do-wellers.
Obviously, Massachusetts, Boston has lots of other crime.
No,
that those police officers could be investigating or stopping or doing.
Extensive reservations.
So Bill has answered my question. So Canada has extensive reservations. I have plenty of reservations myself, but not that kind. And multi-tribe associations, 7 nations. So yeah, I guess they're kind of like our Indian tribes here, or Native American tribes, or First Nations peoples. That are stuck on reservations, and they have casinos, and they manufacture cigarettes and sell them as well, apparently.
Yeah. Where did they come up with $10 billion? Well,
I mean, when you got Altria money, you can do a financial cost analysis and do projections and do all that stuff.
It was a great leading question, wasn't it?
Well, you keep setting them up, I'll knock them down. While efforts to circumvent tobacco laws may have an economic impact, we've heard about some of that today. Every tobacco product has a public health impact, and in turn, that has an economic impact. In fact, Massachusetts still spends over $4 billion a year in tobacco-related healthcare costs, and those are costs that every Massachusetts resident is bearing the burden of. That is the lost revenue that we should all consider and focus on. Hey, you got your little chart?
I'm looking right now. Massachusetts has 4.2 million, not billion, million. So they did a typo there, Patrick. I'm surprised at them.
Okay, so how much money do they bring in from tobacco tax money, though? Is that on your little chart?
It is. 2019 has 236 million, and they spent 4.2. Their total payments are 5,311 million. They spent total 4.2.
Okay, so we need to contact the Sun and tell them they got a typo, because it says billion right there.
It's a typo, all right.
So they spend $4 million a year, and they bring in how much money from cigarette taxes?
Wait a minute. 236.6 million in 2019.
So 236 million,
yep.
And they spend 4 million of that. So they have 232 million of revenue in. Mm-hmm. So how is this lost revenue is what I want to know.
So I'm going to give you guys a real quick. 2017 was 254.5 million revenue for tobacco tax, MSA. 2018, 254 for 2017, 243.3 for 2018, 236.6 for 2019. It's gone down every year, 54 to 43 to 36. That's a lot of money.
So
$4.2 million.
Matt says that you still sound bad.
Oh, I haven't touched it.
Sound is bad, is what he says.
Sound is bad.
I don't know, man. It's all Kevin's fault.
It's my fault. So I'm going to relink that same.
So let's says it sounds good, but you're a little sissy. He called you a little sissy.
Well, just a little.
Called you a little sissy.
What is this? What are you doing?
I like picking on my Kiwi friends.
What are you looking at? Oh, you're looking at your thing, aren't you?
Huh? I'm looking at my thing.
Your screen.
Quit talking about my thing in front of all these people. See?
SY.
See, he says he called you a sissy again.
So who's going to sponsor Happy Birthday Fabby on this one?
Well, Demand Vape. Have Demand Vape.
Demand Vape would like to wish Fabby a happy birthday and keep Fig out of this room. If he pops in, yell at him. He's not allowed in here. We've banned him, for those who didn't know, for the day. I've got an S. Oh, the hiss. Like a hiss.
I tried to fix the hiss, and it's crazy, But I will do it myself because
I got to make you work. It's all right. Everything's fine. Yeah. So there is no black market according to Mitch Zeller.
Yeah, Mitch says no. The reporters and all these experts are wrong.
They're wrong.
They're wrong.
He's been doing this 35 years?
Because Mitch Zeller said it's never going to happen. That there's never going to be a $10 billion cigarette black market or vaping black market or illegal flavored tobacco black market.
Oh no,
in Boston or in Massachusetts, because
no. When I was 9 years old, I could never get any cigarettes. When I was 11, I was never walking into what was then King Quick, Stop and Go, whatever it is now, to get no access. Couldn't get them.
No.
That's why I stole Dad's at first.
I can't believe you would steal from your dad.
Even when he'd get the hundreds, he wouldn't smoke them all the way down. So I was okay. But when he changed brands on me, I wasn't real happy about it at all. And you referenced a rum soaked cigar. He took me when he found out that I was smoking. He took me to the grocery store and bought me a rum soaked cigar, which I inhaled. And yes, what you think may have happened.
I don't know. Whenever I smoked cigars, I inhaled. And what's really funny is, we'll go a little bit into the weeds, but
Troops.
Yeah, I used to go to the cigar bar the cigar bar and here in Corpus even, and I'd spend like $14 or $15 on a single cigar and sit there with a glass of bourbon. And
when you were 12?
No, I was an adult then, but this old guy who's like 85 or 90 years old would come in. He's a rich guy, come in with his big Cadillac and park and come in, just left the golf course. And on the golf course, he would smoke. I mentioned acid cigars a while ago. He would carry the cheap ones around. And I consider acid cigars cheap cigars. But then he would come in and he would blow a bunch of money on a cigar and sit there and he'd suck the whole. And everybody in the place would be like, I can't believe he's inhaling that. He's like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I'm going to send you something my son sent me. I'll let you choose whether you use it or not. It's up to you. I thought it was cute because he sent
inhaled and sucked.
Do you ghost? Have you ghosted?
Oh,
I don't know where that is on your line. So
it's in here somewhere. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But hey, the New York Times has just published, and obviously it's going to throw like the commercial for the hat that I'm wearing right here on the fucking screen.
Exactly.
It's like the algorithm is there. Like it knows that I'm wearing this hat right now.
I'm glad you're just not wearing a tie tonight.
Well, actually, the hat that I'm wearing is not here, but this pin, because this is the Black Rose Scally, is showing the fucking pin for the Black Rose Scally. But anyway, big tobacco in the pandemic.
What? Oh, look, there's the American heart. Check that out. They know everything, by the way.
This is an op-ed. You see how they make the word opinion like gray so that you can almost not see it?
Yeah.
Opinion. So the American Heart Association says the industry is hoping to profit from the virus.
Thank goodness. Also,
nursing homes of the future learning how to cook.
Well, you got to eat.
Look. So how about, look, big tobacco, Puff Bar.
Now, do we know actually who owns Puff Bar?
Some Chinese company.
So it's not a tobacco company.
No, it's not a tobacco company. It's a Chinese company.
Oh, okay.
You could call Puff Bar right now if you had the money, and you could order 100,000 of these units. You could have it branded anything you want it to, any brand on it. This is an OEM product. There's like 5 or 6 companies that are identical except for the branding.
Yeah. So I could put Kevin's Puff Bar.
Yeah. So Puff Bar sales have consistently been over $3 million a week since April, with volumes now of over 300,000 units, or it says sticks per week. Holy crap.
They look awfully familiar.
Well, I mean, it's the same form factor as the Jewel or sticks or Nick sticks or whatever it is. But anyway, so this is a letter to the editor. RE lawmaker safe Puff Bar used pandemic to market to teens.
No.
The electronic cigarette brand Puff Bar is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the reprehensible ways the tobacco industry is hoping to profit from the COVID-19 pandemic. If you thought that the tobacco industry could not sink any lower after decades spent addicting children and adults to its deadly products, think again. As multiple news outlets and organizations, including the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, have reported, tobacco companies have been caught giving away free masks and hand sanitizer, promoting COVID-19 discounts, and rolling out philanthropic efforts in response to the crisis.
You evil, evil bastards.
All you fucking mom and pop big tobacco shops that are trying to help people by donating hand sanitizer to first responders and police stations
in your local community.
You're fucking evil. All of you need to go to hell.
I'm glad they know better.
All this is taking place under a FDA administration policy issued earlier this year that includes gaping exceptions for Puff Bar and other disposable e-cigarette manufacturers, as well as companies that make refillable liquid nicotine systems. The FDA should act immediately to prevent the tobacco industry from addicting the next generation of tobacco users. In absence of FDA leadership, Congress should pass comprehensive legislation to do the same.
Now, let me ask you a dumbass question. What has Tobacco-Free Kids and Nancy Brown been doing for the past 40 years to lower teen smoking and now vaping?
Failing miserably at their one job.
Hit it out.
Failing miserably. So if they were doing their job, kids wouldn't be smoking. Adults wouldn't be smoking. If they were doing their job, they would be, we would have defeated this monster 20 years ago. Okay. So, I mean, think about this. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever, America launched the first 2 Americans to leave this country and go to space in the last decade.
Yeah.
But back in old timey days, some of you are old enough to remember President John F. Kennedy gave a speech and said, we're going to send men to the moon in this decade. And they were able to get man who had never flown into space from the Earth to space, from the Earth to orbit, from the Earth to the moon and back in 10 years. You tell me that we couldn't figure out a way in 100 years When was well, it's not 100 years. When was the Surgeon General's report? 1969 or 8?
64.
64. Okay, 1964.
Before space.
Before space. We got to space before the American people and the people of the world.
After Kennedy's speech.
Smoking.
After the speech, but before, right.
Right. So you're telling me that
I ain't telling you.
The greatest fucking country in the world couldn't figure out a way to stop people from smoking cigarettes if they really wanted to stop them.
It's almost as if there's an incentive to have cigarettes and have... What? Really? Is that what you're saying?
So I've made reference to a blog that I wrote years ago for the vaping militia called Addicts and Junkies. And it no longer exists because the website is gone. But I wrote a piece for the vaping militia in 2014 called Addicts and Junkies, discussing specifically the American government's addiction to tobacco tax from its first inception. So you do realize the very first crop that was taxed in the United States, the country that was formed by people who didn't want to pay their taxes, the first thing that we taxed was tobacco.
During the Civil War.
No. Prior to the Civil War.
That? It was before
Way before that.
Well, I got my Wikipedia fucked up there.
So the Whiskey Rebellion was a rebellion that was started because people didn't want to pay taxes on whiskey. But we were actually already paying taxes on cigarette or on tobacco before we were taxed on whiskey. But people actually didn't mind the tobacco tax nearly as much as you fucking tax their booze, man. But the very first tax that the American government ever levied on a crop was tobacco. And after that, that was the first tax that ever brought the government into a net plus on its ledger.
Well, that was the Civil War reference then, because maybe they used that tax to fund the Civil War. Maybe I misread it or don't remember it correctly. But that was partially funding the Civil War. Was tobacco. So there you go. Ironically.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Nancy Brown is the CE, the chief executive of the American Heart Association.
Yep.
That little op-ed was brought to you by the people that benefit from the sale of tobacco cigarettes.
And happy birthday, Fabby.
I'm really sad that people are there's 22 people in the chat room right now, and not anybody other than me has tagged Fabby and said happy birthday.
I did at the beginning.
Okay, other than me and you. I'm assuming that at least 3 or 4 of those people in the chat room have her on their friends list and can tag her.
I can't see the tags on our chat.
I haven't even seen anybody even say happy. Oh no, there was somebody else. I did up at the top. There's somebody.
I think Mark did.
More people need to do it. Everybody all at once now.
It's been brought to you by Nancy Brown. Who's never mind. That's too inappropriate even for me. Well, it rhymes with runt.
Smoking a blunt?
Yeah, it rhymes with blunt. There you go. That'll work. Oh, there's the monkey. Look at this daddy.
Yeah, so Bruni says he taggered.
Okay, I knew there was 2 or 3 of them. Looked like they tagged them. So what else you got?
Well, I really see you put me in a rock and a hard place here.
Yeah, well.
You put me in a rock and a hard place.
For what? For which part?
Well, that thing that you sent me.
Yeah. No, don't worry about that. That ain't that big a deal.
So,
he just happened. I don't know what he was doing. He sent it to me just out of the.
No, that's not the thing that I thought you were going to send me. So, if you watched the Smokers show this week, Demetrius went through a glossary that was created by the Truth Initiative.
Oh my God!
And I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it because he went through it like line by line.
No, I will link it in the chat. I will link it, and you can briefly touch it all you like, but
don't tell me what I can and can't touch, sir.
Stop calling me sir.
Well, you are like older than me. I'm supposed to, respect your elders.
Vaping lingo dictionary is what they call it.
I know. I don't know that I actually have the link for it in my.
I got it. I got to find where we are. I can't figure out where. There it is. Stream.
I mean, has the Alzheimer's kicked in so much you don't know where we are?
It ain't good. There it is, and there you go, folks.
I can't actually open that.
The vaping, you can't.
I can't because you put it in the chat. It does not hot link for me.
Oh, I'll throw it to you on your. I'll throw it to your message here in a second.
Man,
I apologize, sir.
Like every week, I tell you that.
If you give me a raise, I would probably act a little better. There you go. Respect your elderly. I don't even like him.
That's right, Bill.
I barely like the guy.
That's right, Bill. No, he's telling me to respect you because you are elderly.
I'm 52 and a half.
So you're older than me.
Yeah, but Fig's like 94. So I'm not the oldest.
But he's not here. And even if he was, I still wouldn't add him to the stream because he should be with his wife.
He better be. He better not be. If he shows up in the chat room, we're going to rip his ass. Look at that. There's a lingo dictionary.
So vaping lingo dictionary. Now, some of these are just, they're well, no, there's some on here that are like, okay, that's a jewel and this is a blue. And I mean, obviously it says blue right there. And the jewel actually even says jewel right on it too, right? And, these are just different hardware names and stuff. I mean, this says views on it. That says enjoy on it. I'm assuming right here it says enjoy as well, but it's kind of blurry. Or views and you can't see it. Ooh, that's a box mod. You notice that they pick like the most like colorful and maybe, obviously they didn't put like something like this on there. I mean, kid might like this. I mean, it's stabilized wood. It's, powerful and awesome looking. I just want to show it off, but anyway, so there's a box mod. There's a Sauron drop. It even says right on there, Sauron drop, Sauron air. I mean, there's a smoke Novo or a smoke Novo, depending on what generation of vaping you are, because SMOK used to be called smoke. And then at some point, somebody decided to start calling it smock. This annoys me, though. I never really cared for the use of the word juice.
No.
I don't like it because it sounds stupid. Like, then obviously there's disposables, but this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. It is what it is. So they actually figured they should tell people what a battery is.
And follow Bill's link to Demetrius and Phil on this.
Yeah. So like they covered this line by line. I did want to make some jokes while I did this. So blanks. It should say right here what Kevin has been shooting for a long time.
That's right.
Most of these are pretty obvious, self-explanatory. Okay, clouds. What vapors call the vape mist that's produced during vaping.
Mm-hmm.
Mist. I don't like that word either because it's not accurate.
Yeah.
Scroll down. Fiend or fiending. Someone who is always trying to find Nick.
And they may or may not think they are addicted because denial is a very, very big part of our lives.
It's also not just a river in Egypt. Ghost. Now this is one that I guess you were trying to allude to. A vape trick where the user will pull as much as they can and not exhale to show toughness.
And Demetrius has a demonstration of that, or for Phil
to show toughness. Uh, I'm not sure that I understand.
All the kids are doing it, Patrick. Come on.
That the kids are doing it for toughness. I think the kids are doing it so that they can hold that buzz in just a little bit longer.
With their 3-foot jewel, yeah. Ripski.
Yeah, hit, dab, ripski, draw, tax. See, I don't get the tax at all. Jewel or drag.
Tax, as in
let's see.
Tax it.
I've actually I've heard people in the vaping community actually use the word hit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've actually heard somebody say rip.
Yes.
Obviously, we've heard people say draw or drag. Those are common. Ripski, not sure about that.
No.
So yeah, let me jewel on that jewel. I've never heard anybody refer to the actual act of inhaling from a device called, well, let me jewel that, but anyway.
Adverbs and pronouns and all those other, crazy things are important to tobacco control.
Greening. I've never heard that one before.
No.
This I thought was funny just because it's funny. Julius Caesar, and somebody I actually typed it in the chat room the other night during the Smokers show. That Demetrius said, well, I demand to be called Julius Caesar from this moment forward. But I felt like it should be Phil because Phil's actually Italian. Yes. And Julius Caesar is Roman, and that was Italy.
Close enough.
But nobody responded to my comment, so the rest of it's laughable that they put the effort in. They probably paid an ad agency or somebody to put this thing together.
Right, of course.
And the whole vitamin E acetate, which has been linked to the illness related to THC. E-Valley, e-cigarette or vaping product use associated lung injury. The CDC created the term in response to a multi-state outbreak of severe lung illnesses linked with using e-cigarette and vaping products. These cases were first identified in August of 2019. And by November 5th of 2019, there were more than 2,000 cases, 49 states, DC, and the Virgin Islands, and 39 deaths. So
lying.
Right. So up here, under the dank vapes thing, so this the whole point, and Demetrius pointed this out on his show, was that here at the dank vapes definition, they specifically say THC containing cartridges, right?
Yeah.
Just two definitions later, they severe lung illnesses linked with using e-cigarette or vaping products.
2 cases came up, by the way.
Yes. Vitamin E acetate linked to THC vaping, right?
Now there they tell the truth.
So, but they buried it, and they're inconsistent in their explanations. So yeah, it's annoying, and like I said, all those billions of dollars that the Truth Initiative has, this is Truth Initiative, and they blew it on this.
Yeah, completely. And the intent, while I don't think it's pure, is a good idea. If I had kids and I didn't smoke and I didn't vape and I didn't know any better, this would be a good tool to use briefly. But their intent and purpose is not really to educate anybody. It's to advertise, just like they did with the real cost, 3.6 billion impressions. They're advertising more shit to kids. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we talked about the WHO, nobody is better at marketing vaping to kids than public health.
Nobody. Or cigarettes.
Yeah.
That's what they did before. Period.
Yeah. Speaking of, here, we'll go ahead. I had this already queued up for later, but since we just brought it up, I will rub this and make it bigger and then share it on screen. This is from San Diego, California. Here, San Diego woman dies from vaping related lung injury. And this is from June 12th of 2020. Since July 19th, a total of 52 EVALI cases have been reported in San Diego County. EVALI. Now I know that at one point they had renamed it and it wasn't EVALI anymore, but I still think this is the acronym or nickname that their media is still using. This is the same vape pen that other person was using, except this looks like really chunky dab oil to me. So this is a press release from the San Diego County government. A 76-year-old woman who died on May 24th is the first local fatality of e-cigarette or vaping associated lung injury, the County Health and Human Services Agency announced today. 3 other EVALI cases in young adults were confirmed in recent weeks, and they are the first reports of the lung illness in San Diego County since 2019. All the newly reported local cases tested negative for the novel coronavirus, which caused COVID-19, and they are all reported recently vaping products containing tetrahydrocannabinoid. The California Department of Public Health recently recognized new reports of confirmed EVALI cases in persons vaping THC-containing products in April, after no cases had been reported since February. So there are a couple new cases in California just recently in April, but between February and April, nothing, right?
Correct. And we predicted there would be more cases.
Yes.
Numerous times on Twitter.
They don't listen to us.
No.
I got a really long cord.
I went and stole some more coffee. The way they write things up, and I can't scroll back up, but the idea that they're going to call it EVALI, somebody called it Cali. I can't remember what the acronym was. CDC induced anyway.
I thought they were calling it Vapey or something like that for like a minute.
There's a few, quite a few. So this will there. I'm still saying there's going to be more because some of those illegal carts are still out there. There's no way they collected them all. No way.
Oh no.
They're sitting in a drawer, and somebody's going to go here you go. And I think there was some arrests, but I don't remember. I can't even find it anymore. So I think they did arrest 1 or 2 people somewhere, and I don't recall even where now. But there wasn't a whole lot of hoo-ha about that either. And then suddenly COVID came in, and EVALI went away. So
yes.
And
hey, I have to go get a church key.
Church key?
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'll be right back.
That's fine. So I'm not sure. Let's and I can't look it up, and I can't share a screen. But the real cost is the advertising for children, which is what I was going to go. Gone quiet on that front, Bruni. And happy birthday to Fabi again. So you guys are aware. And Twitter, GFN. I'm going to link GFN, Global Forum on Nicotine. Did their yearly meeting. And if you didn't get to it, I'm going to link it. Or somebody will. Church Key.
Did you panic because I left for a minute?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm panicking. I can't share anything.
This is a church key.
Bottle opener. I got it. As soon as I saw Bill's comment. Not a clue as to what a church key was.
Man.
Not a professional drinker.
Well, I'm actually drinking. I'm drinking the beer tonight.
Good.
My wife actually went and bought my favorite beer for me. Well, okay, my second favorite beer.
Second. Uh-oh, Nick's in the room. Nick's in the room. So I touched on GFN. I don't know where you were or where you were going.
To hell eventually, but right now I was just I'm actually going down the articles that I put in the chat room like 3 days ago in the order that I put them in because I didn't go through and reorder them. But you brought up the recent Evali cases, so then I just jumped to that because you had just brought it up.
Yeah, and Ashley, whatever the hell her name is, in Florida, the other one is in Florida.
Well, you know what's really funny though is last week if you scroll up in the chat, you'll find that there's a video link for the Ashley thing. We would have been the first people to cover that, but we didn't cover it because we got distracted and we got in the weeds and that we were going a little bit long. So then we didn't cover it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oops.
Oh, yes. That's awesome.
Is you better? Are you better?
I don't want to kill people. Just this right moment. I have nicotine and alcohol now, so I'm good.
And I have caffeine, so there you go.
Oh, I have a little caffeine over here too. So
it's an addictive chemical.
I've been drinking caffeine the whole time. Now I'm moving over into the alcohol.
Yep.
Hey, yep. Kevin, Fig's not here, so I have to drink for two people.
Well, fuck. So if you're drinking, drink. That's important.
Hey, let's. Did you actually? Since we're talking about Evali.
Yep.
Because apparently you guys don't pay attention to the links that I put into the group chat when I do that.
No, I don't even like you.
I know, right?
Hold on, let me find it. There we go. Scroll. Which one?
Well, the one that's on screen right now.
Oh, okay. See, now I'm looking somewhere. Yeah.
So this is the official journal of the Academy, or American Academy of Pediatrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I scroll. And, oh, look, it says clinical features of e-cigarette or vaping product use associated lung injury in teenagers. And this was just published in the May 2020 Journal of Pediatrics. And we're going to scroll here. It says in the United States in 2019, there was an outbreak of electronic cigarette or vaping product use associated lung injury, Evali. The manifestations of Evali in adolescents are not well characterized. We describe the diagnosis, evaluation, and management of Evali in adolescent hospitalization at a tertiary care university-affiliated children's hospital. So anyway, let's just scroll here to the results. So it says 13 hospitalized adolescents were diagnosed with confirmed or probable Evali. The majority were female, 54% of the victims, the teens or whatever. There were 13 of them. 54% of them were girls with a mean age of 15.9 years. Now, we just told the story of a 76-year-old woman who had just died of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, 69% of the patients presented with respiratory symptoms, whereas gastrointestinal symptoms were prominent in 85% of the patients. So that's just to say that everybody that had it didn't necessarily have the same symptoms.
Yep.
So vaping, THC, was reported in 92% of the patients, and vaping nicotine was reported only in 62% of the patients. So if you do the math, there was a very high percentage of the people that were victims of this illness. 92% said, yes, I vaped THC. A much smaller percentage of those people said, well, I vaped nicotine as well. All had bilateral ground glass opacities on the chest X-ray or CT. of the chest. Treatment with glucocorticoids led to clinical improvement in 11 of the 12 patients. So anyway, so that's just I just read that section to point out the fact that self-reporting, only 92% of them admitted to the vaping THC, because these are 15.9-year-old people.
Well, and you asked the Surgeon General himself, and he answered you.
Oh no, yeah, he specifically said no. We would never ask the clinicians or the doctors to actually drug test these people.
No.
That would sow an environment of distrust between patient and doctor.
Because there's no such thing as HIPAA or anything else.
If the doctor surreptitiously did a drug test, and I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" I would say, "We're going to drug test you."
Oh, yes.
I didn't tell you to sneak about it. I said, "Do it."
Going to check them from everything from pregnancy to anything else they can think of. That's what they would do.
Yeah.
There's no excuse not to.
So.
What's no subject? Yeah.
Excuse me. So, I mean, that's just basically, and I'm going to let y'all read the whole thing if you want to, but, I mean, basically they shot themselves in the foot. They're admitting right here with this study that 92% of them admitted to using THC and only 62% of them admitted to vaping nicotine.
Because 62% lied.
No, I mean, no. I think all of them vaped THC, and 8% of them lied.
Right.
And then, okay, if they vaped nicotine, they're not going to get any trouble.
Yeah.
Well, they should, but they're not going to get into any trouble if they admit to that. But some of them are going to get in trouble if they admit to vaping THC in front of their parents.
Well, if there's a big Karen van coming, yeah.
Let me speak to your supervisor, Kevin.
Gretchen's in the room, you know.
All right, so let's see. Oh well, yeah. Let's do this. We'll do this one real quick. This is from the Colorado Sun.
Oh yes.
So let's get into this because this is actually very important.
There's a couple nice quotes in here. I've screenshotted for it.
From this exact article?
I believe so.
Okay. So look at this picture here. I mean, you see what they did? Mm-hmm. They made this huge picture window just for this picture. Most newspapers and websites don't do this. They put a little picture or medium-sized picture. Very rarely do you get a big, huge splash page like this,
And let me ask the audience, who's advertising tobacco on social media?
Hey, what's really funny, though, Kevin?
What?
Just looking at this picture, I see something that makes me smile or makes me laugh. Okay, so cigarettes are here, right? Cigarettes are here?
Yeah.
Where's the security camera? And what direction is the security camera pointed?
First of all, the tobacco is behind the counter. You know that.
Yes, it's behind the counter.
And the security camera's
the security camera's right here, right?
Yeah.
Where are the vapor products?
Right below it.
Right here, right? Well, these are swishers, but okay. So the camera is actually pointed away. You see the angle here? I mean, it's pointed away from the cigarettes. Because
there's no way that a customer could slide a pack of cigarettes from the cashier.
Look, you see this? I just noticed this. This is the first time I've opened this on something other than my phone. But,
so some illegal sales can be recorded.
Look, it's pointed away from the cigarettes. Anyway,
cigarettes.
In the final hours of legislative session, Colorado Democrats bring bill to raise cigarette taxes and create a nicotine tax. So House Bill 1427 asks voters to gradually raise taxes on nicotine products over the next 7 years, It was scheduled for a committee hearing before its text was posted on the legislature's website. And this actually is from the 11th. And I have a minor update, but we'll go ahead and we'll read this and then I'll give the update. So it says here, Democrats in the Colorado legislature on Thursday introduced an 11th hour bill that seeks to ask voters in November to raise taxes on cigarettes and start taxing other products that contain nicotine. Now, the question is, other products that contain nicotine, do you actually think that will include the nicotine gums or lozenges or
they're exempt
pharmaceutical produced products? So they're going to be exempt.
If Jordan's still in the room, he can confirm that, but I believe they were already exempt. I think I'm pretty sure Amanda put that on one of the Facebook pages.
So I already know the answer to that, but I was just, anyway. So House Bill 1427 would ask voters to gradually but significantly raise the taxes over the next 7 fiscal years. Whereas taxes on a pack of cigarettes are now 84 cents, the bill would ask voters to allow the state to raise the amount to $1.94. Starting next year, starting in 2024, taxes on a pack of cigarettes would then increase to $2.24 a pack. Then in 2027, moving forward, the tax would be $2.64 a pack.
Because
nicotine products.
They don't like those tobacco companies.
Yeah. Nicotine products, including vaping devices and fuel. Fuel? Are they calling this fuel?
Since we already have antifreeze and now we have fuel, all we need are tires.
Yes. So, and fuel, and fuel would be taxed at 30% of the manufacturer's list price. So it's a wholesale tax starting next year if voters sign off. But by July of 2024, that would increase to 56%. In 2024, it would be 56%, and in July of 2027, 62% wholesale tax. Vaping products aren't currently taxed in Colorado, which is a lie. Every product sold in a retail setting is taxed. It's called sales tax. Correct. Every product is already taxed. The bill was introduced Thursday, a day before the legislature was originally supposed to adjourn after returning for 3 weeks following a 2-month plus coronavirus pause. It appears lawmaking will stretch into the weekend now in order to accommodate House Bill 1427 and other last-minute legislation. The legislation is very similar to a proposed ballot measure, Initiative 292, which would enact a nicotine tax and raise taxes on cigarettes to 62% of their manufacturer's list price overnight. 1427 has the governor's support. The governor strongly supports the initiated ballot measure, but it's undeniable the state's current revenue challenges requires smart solutions such as this. So they're admitting right there, we don't have enough money, so we have to figure out a way to make more money. So let's increase the tax on cigarettes and let's, just out of whole cloth, create a new tax on nicotine.
Correct. And the article I had, I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to put it to you. Julie McCluskey is a Dillon Democrat and prime sponsor, says she hopes the bill will help bolster the state's ailing budget, which has taken a major hit as a result of the coronavirus crisis. At first, revenue generated by the taxes will go toward backfilling the state's coffers. Now, is it about the children?
Are you talking about that Julie McCluskey right there?
Let me flip my screen back. Yeah, yeah, that's her.
So yeah, what you just said is here that she's openly admitting,
yes,
that this is to make money for the government, and but they failed to address the fact that I love this. I'm sorry, I have to toot my own horn when I create something that I just love.
I love the shirt. I love the shirt. I want one. My boobs ain't big enough, but I could probably fill it out enough.
I don't know. You got man boobs. It might work. It might work for you. But they don't really mention anywhere in here that Altria actually has negotiated themselves a 50% off tax coupon.
Is it coupon or coupon?
Coupon. Discount.
James, I love you.
So, obviously this is my tweet. And I said the bill McCleskey for Colorado filed on behalf of Altria reveals that she doesn't care about the health of Colorado smokers, giving Altria a discount on their tax while crushing small vape businesses, puts dollars over lives. And then I tagged the Colorado House and the Colorado Senate. And sadly, I only got 7 retweets.
Oh, hi Fig, right? Same shit.
Kind of sad to me.
What's important isn't done, and what's not important is done all day.
But yeah, so Altria, who most definitely had something to do with the authorship of this bill. Now, to be clear, at least, this is a bill that will add a ballot initiative to the November election to allow the voters of Colorado to say yes or no to this measure. This is a ballot initiative. So Colorado voters will ultimately be the ones that decide whether this goes through or not.
Well, they'll be coerced into.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that they're, Truth Initiative, all these people will be spending millions of dollars on social media campaigns, ad time, all that.
Yep.
To push this into the front of Colorado voter brains. But let me go to because I got to go to my Facebook here, because Amanda said when she couldn't come, when I first asked her yesterday, she said that she was going to be busy, and she didn't know what was going to happen between the time I invited her and now. So they basically did an amendment to make it a slower phase in, so that it starts at 30% rather than 50%. It does not apply to hardware or 0 milligram, and it does increase up to 62% by 2027. Still has to pass the vote of the people on the November ballot. So they amended it a little bit to change the numbers of the way it's phased in over time, but
there's still work to do.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all need to definitely, if you're in Colorado, and there's a couple people that watch the show sometimes that are from Colorado, y'all need to work on this. I mean, obviously it hasn't passed yet. It has to go through the House, Senate, the governor has to sign it and all that. Governor says he supports it though. So more than likely it's going to probably pass. And then the Colorado voters are going to have to be educated.
Yeah.
And how hard is it to educate an entire state when it comes to an issue like this?
Well, Truth and tobacco-free kids have been doing this for 40 years, so I'm sure
they got billions of dollars though.
They've got a lot of money.
Billions with the B's.
This industry to do it correctly. I have all the confidence in the world in Amanda, but this is not funny.
No.
I love the federal stuff coming. So
yeah,
they want to ban it, but they want to tax it. There's a lot of silliness going on. A lot. And the cranky old blocks in the room.
I'm still scrolling here. I'm trying to find stuff.
Here
we go. I already did that one. That's the woman that's dead. Here. Oh yeah, I like this. This is from India. We've been spending a lot of time talking about India over the past couple months. Actually, we've discussed the fact that the Indian government banned vaping overnight. Literally, people went home from work and basically their shops disappeared while they were at home, right? So, global pandemic of smoking-related disease to kill 7 million more in 2020. Viable solutions blocked by moral panics and big philanthropy. Obviously, big philanthropy is, guys like Bloomberg.
It is Bloomberg.
Well, yes.
Is.
All right. So, yeah, there's a lot of byline here. This is from the week .in, which is India. This is a wire from. This is a report, a news story from The Wire. It's the Newswire, PR Newswire. So, scientists and experts in public health and tobacco control are highlighting the need for 1.1 billion smokers and millions of adults who have switched away from smoking to assess appropriately regulated, safer nicotine products such as vapes or e-cigarettes, snus, nicotine pouches, and heated tobacco products. An approach called tobacco harm reduction. This year, the seventh, it jumped a big pile there. The 7th annual Global Forum on Nicotine, organized by KAC Communications, is the only international conference focused on safer nicotine products' role in reducing smoking-related harms. Gets conducted as a free online conference, and it finished today.
Yeah.
So 30 experts are speaking or have spoken, and I think all of this is probably captured on YouTube, and you can probably watch them on a diverse range of topics, including topics related to nicotine, including the latest evidence on the interplay between nicotine smoking and COVID-19, the impact of the deliberate and continued misattribution of the so-called EVALI lung injury crisis to nicotine vaping instead of illicit THC, moral panics over low youth vaping rates taking precedence over the health of millions of adult smokers and vapors, and obviously Bloomberg's effect on global public health.
Exactly. So you read between the lines.
Yeah, well, I just went ahead and interposed. So smoking is the single biggest cause of non-communicable disease. It kills half of all those who smoke. That's, we've talked about this before. Somebody curse.
Fuck. Okay. Yes, James. India is New York. By all means.
Oh, that's yummy.
That was a drinking word.
Oh, yeah. That's a good beer. The Global Burden of Disease study estimates that smoking directly accounted for 7.1 million premature deaths in 2017, with an additional 1.2 million deaths attributed to secondhand smoke. So, there is no consumer product that is more successful at killing the people that use the product as directed than cigarettes. Obviously Troop, in the past when I've said that, Troop brought up suicide vests, but that is really not a consumer product. You can't just go to the store and buy that. You got to buy, or get, plans off the internet and buy the parts and put it together. So that really is not a consumer product.
That's black market.
That is definitely a dark web item. For decades, it has been known that it is the burning of tobacco and the release and inhalation of smoke that causes disease. Nicotine itself is not a carcinogen. The UK Royal College of Physicians recognized in a 2016 report any long-term hazards of nicotine are likely to be of minimal consequence in relation to those associated with continued tobacco use. And then last week, you shared the article from 2014 that basically made the case that nicotine use is no more damaging or frightening or harmful than that of caffeine.
Correct.
That was an old link that you shared during last week's show, or that I shared that you gave to me. Yep. So while tobacco control efforts led by international agencies such as the WHO have lowered global smoking rates, much remains to be done. 80% of the world's smokers live in low and middle income countries. I live in Texas, so that's pretty low.
Yeah.
And we are a country. Those least able to implement tobacco control measures and with healthcare systems least able to cope with the disease burden of smoking. So yeah, poor people get fucked up, get shit on. We've already talked about the racial disparity over we've talked about it many times. Often, and the vast majority of smokers are not rich people. They're not educated people. They're people in that low income category, people that don't have access to FDA approved nicotine replacement therapy that doesn't really work anyway.
Right.
But yeah, and obviously there's a racial disparity as well. Many smokers can quit alone or with nicotine replacement therapy. Many cannot or are unable to access or afford NRT, like I just said.
You just said.
Where available and affordable, safer nicotine products such as vapes and snus give smokers more options to leave combustible tobacco behind. International Tobacco Control operates along prohibitionist lines, despite harm reduction approaches being successfully integrated in the response to many other public health issues since the 1980s. Condoms for AIDS. We talked about safe injection sites and needle exchanges for IV drugs. When Logan was on the show, we talked about that.
Yep. Sunscreen.
Obviously, was it naloxone? All those things are harm reduction. I mean, obviously seat belts, life preservers, all those things, dental dams,
the block button.
Yeah, I'm sure. James Jarvis carries a dental dam around in his pocket, but this thing.
Skechers for Phil.
Yeah, that's true.
It's harm reduction, period.
Yeah. So the GFN conference director, Gary Stimson, we love Gary Stimson, emeritus professor at Imperial College London and former honorary professor at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. Now, people got to understand what that title is. So the School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, if you are an MD and you have that specialization, that is differential diagnoses, that you are experts on rare conditions and diseases that are, very hard to heal, very hard to treat. Dr. House, if you ever watched House, he was a doctor of tropical medicine and an expert on those. And that's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So anyway, he said tobacco harm reduction is good public health. It starts with the people who matter, people who smoke, people who have switched to a chosen alternative, and it fosters and encourages change. Tobacco harm reduction is not antithetical to tobacco control. It should be a part of it. Yeah. So I mean, there's just they talk about sweetener. So yeah. Bill messaged me. What did it say? Bill messaged me. I think, yeah, there it is. So, if you're not a member of Bill's Vape Distortion page, or if you're not following what he types for, what he puts on Taste Your Juice, he's doing all of the like advocacy posts and like the vape news and stuff on Phil's website. You should definitely be checking it out because he has a lot more time than what I used to have. But apparently he said that Farsalinos was talking next week.
I can't find the tweet quick enough, but yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's presenting next week. I thought the GFN was over on today.
GFN itself is, yeah.
But he's going to give a talk somewhere else?
Yeah, let me see if he's got it on Twitter real quick. I can't find. There's no way I'm going to find that tweet quick enough.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I don't know if vape distortion is a closed group or not. But if obviously, most of the people on my show are already very well known vape advocates, and probably are already in there. But if you're not paying attention, pay attention, damn it.
Yeah, I'm going to make an observation. To Global Forum on Nicotine. It was actually a tweet. I didn't necessarily want to link the tweet, but those claiming to be experts they open invite to GFN. They've been doing this since 2014. They're all professionals. So my observation, which is subtle to some, is that those claiming to be experts have an open invite, yet they're not speaking or attending. Those experts who are attending and speaking, they've never said they were proclaiming to be experts, but they show up. So that's what GFN is about. I would love to go. If I remember right, we sent Lindsay last year, and that could have been the other one, the e-cigarette forum. I can't remember, but the experts that were in that group, and I invited Jerry and Steve and the other ones to go without taxpayer money for flights and uncomfortable knee positions for Jerry. But the program itself is there. YouTube is GFN. There you go. Yeah. It's about 5 hours the first day, and I don't know what was today. I didn't catch any. I caught very, very little today, but yesterday I caught almost.
Sadly, I missed the whole damn thing because I have to work. I couldn't take vacation days. I'm saving up my vacation days because I will be having surgery probably end of July, beginning of August, and I'll be out of work for like 8 weeks or longer. So yeah, I'm not taking any time off now.
Yeah, but that's
I'm going to start a GoFundMe to pay for my booze while I'm recovering from surgery. Not in recovery, but recovering from surgery.
Maybe we could have Char come visit.
I don't really need that much money, but a couple dollars here and there would be all right to keep me in beer and booze while I'm medicated.
Char could come visit you and deliver.
Well, she has like hand sanitizer alcohol. I can't really drink that.
Oh, she's one of the evil people.
Yes.
That's right.
I don't know if she had stepped away because she did not respond angrily when we were covering that story.
Evil people helping their communities. That's
those damn motherfuckers.
Oh my!
How dare you? How dare you try to help your community? You're evil tobacco companies.
And I know damn well Nick did it, and I know damn well James did it. So there's at least 3 ne'er-do-wellers in this freaking chat room, and I know Skip did it actually. So there's 4.
They're all evil bastards.
We're associated with evil bastards.
Hey, but we're running a pirate ship now, so it's okay because we're all evil bastards.
Oh, then fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck the Karen van.
We're going to be doing some skullduggery and some fucking vape legging and all sorts of shit in the future.
Char said she owns it. I don't know if she's talking about us or something else.
Hey, the thing is like she kidnapped her mother.
Oh, good.
In an RV and held her and made her affix labels to bottles while she was driving to deliver evil hand sanitizer to me.
And my question
twice.
Did it show her company name on there at all?
No.
There you go. I didn't look at all these bottles and photos.
It might.
And if it did, great.
It does, but I didn't even recognize that Uncharted. Her 72-year-old mother, she kidnapped her and held her in an RV and made her stick labels on bottles while she drove.
Skip, I would never, ever, ever use the word bitch. Evil old, possibly, not the bitch. No, can't do it.
I used to have a dog that I called bitch all the time.
Oh God, is Demetrius in the room?
I don't know. I can't see people when they come in because they have to actually comment before I can see them. But the next happy birthday to Fabi Ramsey has been brought to you by the Innikin platform line of hardware. That would be the Zenith Pro or the Zlide. So everybody type happy birthday and tag Fabi right now.
I just saw Skip. I lost it. Where'd it go? Oh, evil old broad. I'll take. I'll do that one. I don't partake in the other word very often.
But yeah, this little thing right here, Kevin, this little Cool Fire Mini with the Zlide tank.
Do I have to send Demetrius some meatballs? Maybe.
I think he knows how to. But see, Char, you actually have to tag her, so you have to type her name correctly.
And Skip's granddaughter.
Fabi space Ramsey.
There you go. Sweet.
Otherwise, she doesn't get a ding on her phone. And my whole point is I want her phone to be dinging. I'm evil that way.
And plus, that'll make Fig upset.
I don't know that he'd be upset. He might be happy that all of the people that watch my show love his wife. I love her more than I love him. So
Oh, absolutely. It's her 21st birthday.
I sympathize with her that she puts up with his shit.
I can't believe she does. Answering that question before you asked it.
Yes, it is an internal battery, Skip. It is an 1100 milliamp hour internal battery. I mean, look how small that thing is, though. I mean,
it ain't much bigger than that. It actually looks the same size.
It's it's like a tube mod with just a little kind of like a wart,
Yeah. Oh, it's rounded.
Yeah.
That's nice. Sweet. So yeah, you guys that did the hand sanitizer, the masks is an unbelievable thing. And I think that was the week we were talking about. While the world was on fire, your industry was on fire. You're still trying to help the local communities that you live in. And I love every freaking one of you for that.
Yes. Yes, Skip. I vape at 16 watts, and it's actually vape. It's at 16 watts. It's got little buttons and everything, so you can up and down it to get it where you want it.
You got to rub it.
Well, you got to poke it at least.
You got to poke it.
You got to poke it.
So Skip, I don't know where you can get an ice stick.
You can, but this is better.
And they keep moving on. They don't.
Yeah, and I like this because it actually has an on-off switch on the bottom.
Yeah.
So you can you can turn it off. You can do the 5 clicks and lock it, but you can just turn it off and throw it in your pocket.
Yep.
Because I don't put mods in my pocket normally. Like, I don't put devices in my pocket. Because if I put it in my front pocket and I sit down, I'm always afraid that because the 510 connections on devices are not very stable. Like, it really doesn't take that much force to pop that, But
yep.
So yeah, James Jarvis is a 40-gallon asshole.
Let's go by the gallons of asshole. Or assholes by the gallon.
Yes. So,
Char, how many gallons did you?
Well, Char donated, but I bought. I gave Char money, not a whole lot of money, but I gave her money for the hand sanitizer that she brought me.
Yeah.
I think it was a total of 1,200 bottles.
Shit.
Yeah.
While the world was on fire.
400 bottles and then 800 bottles. So yeah.
110 gallons.
She's a 110 gallon evil person.
Should we get her some horns? Or does she?
No, that you see, you opened that one up, but I can't knock that one out of the park. Because you brought up horns.
Does she shave them down?
And I was gonna say I don't know how horny she already is. That would have been inappropriate. So I actually didn't say it. I just told you what I would have said.
Well, all right. As long as she tucks in her tail and shaves her horns down.
She's gonna punch me next time she sees me.
Asshole by the gallon. Oh my goodness.
Yep. All you evil people that gave away hand sanitizer just so that you could sucker kids into vaping are evil people. I know that you probably those first responders and those police officers that you gave or donated hand sanitizer to is just going to go around the corner and promote your products to kids.
Yep. They probably don't even like you.
Yep, that's what they're going to do. That's how that works. You know, because most of you that donated or that did that did give it specifically to first responders and police departments and firemen and those in need. First thing they're going to do is walk around and show those bottles off to the kids and tell them to go buy e-liquid from your business. That's exactly what that's exactly what you're doing. You're playing by the big tobacco playbook.
That's how it starts right there.
See that state rep that she says, screw the kids. I gave them to a state rep in the fire department. Haha. See, the state rep is just now. He's going to the playground where the kids are playing during the COVID pandemic.
Hold out your hand
and saying, hey, wash your damn hands. Oh, and go to Char store and buy e-liquid. That's exactly how that works.
We know how you people are. We're consumers. We know stuff.
All right, Kev, we're at the 2 hour and 20-minute mark. Time flies when you're having fun.
Does it?
And I think we hit all the articles that that I had already laid out. So do you have anything that you want to share that we haven't already covered?
I'm going to share when I get the button correct here.
When you figure out how to do it, just tell me and I'll push the button to put it up on screen.
I should not need audio, so that part doesn't matter. It should be Dr. F, who I was looking for something else for. And then, okay, so you're there. Should I make it bigger?
Yes, rub it.
So there's Dr. F. No, I can't move the damn thing. All right, so if you go to your bookmarks, I forget which one it is. You can go to your bookmarks. Nope, these are pinned. Where's my bookmarks? Right here.
I have no idea. There, that thing.
It's too big. It's usually saying the word bookmark. So bookmark. So that's what I just said a little bit ago is the experts who are attending, they show up. They don't brag. They just do what they do. There's quite a few things. There's Jerry, of course. So if you go to your home and you see, there's Mark. Where'd he go? Oh, there's Mark. So Mark, as an example, retweeted you. That national, is it Nash or Natch?
Night.
What does that mean?
Night.
Oh, so you're a night man. So
no, night, dark.
If you want to, from the tweet in your feed, you can hit this button here. I don't know. It's on your right side for the people that are just listening. You can hit the button. You can hit the words add tweet to bookmark, and that's it. So then when you go to your bookmark, if you want to reference that specifically, his or Patrick's, then you can retweet it or overtweet it if you like, or use it to your advantage. Let's see, where's something that I like to. There's Amanda. I saved that one on purpose because I thought she made a great point. Why does FDA tobacco seem to think master files and bridging are an answer to a multi-million-dollar PMTA process that will guarantee big tobacco a monopoly over the vapor industry. So I like the wording as to what Amanda did, NUTO, and she was over tweeting Grimm as an example of an overtweet. So bookmarks was something that I haven't seen any of us discuss over the past few weeks.
Nope.
I like to keep my own, like this video I use on occasion. This one was to NIDA, National Institute of Drug Abuse. This one is Pave's clip of their lie, et cetera, et cetera. But your bookmark. This was the hearing with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we always talk about
Matthew's kids.
Yeah, without talking about kids, because everybody hates that subject of using children on our side. This is an example I use for that. Dr. Gardner with Smoke Free World shows that the CDC already knows and admits nicotine vaping is helping millions of people quit. I just asked that one tonight on one of my tweets. I think it's the top. Yeah. Everybody had a chance to look this over? I'm being a smartass, but I tagged Jerry, Nancy at Heart, who I'm blocked by, Harold Weimer, who I'm blocked by, Robin Koval, who never gets on Twitter anyway, but other people can see who those people are. That's why they're tagged. Tobacco Free Kids, who I'm blocked by, and Steve at the FDA, Mr. Hahn, Dr. Hahn, has not blocked me to my knowledge. But
yeah,
I'm asking, has everybody had a chance to look this over to those people that I've tagged, those alleged professionals? I'm also giving Charles the credit of putting it out there, and I'm also showing consumers like myself this information that he linked in his tweet. So that's my my take on the Twitter fun for the night.
That's the whole reason I brought you on the show was.
That's right.
Because I suck at Twitter.
And look, Mark just said, "Holy hell! How did I not know this?" Thanks to you're welcome. Because there's little subtleties that nobody knows or nobody thinks of or whatever. I've been using it for a long time. I just never thought of bringing it up. I just assume everybody always knows stuff, So you haven't added one, and you can delete it as you go.
I didn't even know that it was there either. So I'm showing that I don't know everything by showing that I don't know everything.
Good. And Skip didn't know either. So
yeah.
So yeah, Twitter's not hard to do if you're just quick, basic, bing, bang, boom, being a smartass, being informative, finding a hashtag like GFN20 or GFN 2020 is an example I gave earlier on a tweet that if you go to that hashtag, you'll see people tweeting, professionals, Michelle Minton, those people are doing that, and they're using that hashtag. So if you don't follow someone who's using that hashtag, there's your answer to find more people to follow to find information that you need, in my opinion. So it's a great source to find people as well, So there was about 5 of them that I saw on there running. A couple of them were in the global forum on nicotine itself. I'd never heard of them. They were following me, and I hadn't followed them yet, so I felt bad.
James Jarvis actually, he's partially right.
He's biased.
He's partially right. It should say some of us are not as smart as Kevin. Patrick. Me especially.
Well, and Fig, if you ask him. And I will say, although I missed him, it's a damn good thing he hasn't shown up.
Hey, the show actually runs quite smoothly.
They're sitting there trolling and giggling at us.
We don't go into the weeds nearly as far.
Thank you, James, by the way. So yeah,
okay.
It's its own animal.
Give me a second here. Bill's in my ear.
Uh-oh.
Bill's in my ear.
Bill is so freaking smart. He's
we need to actually get Bill on the show sometime. He's called in back in the day when it was just a podcast. He's called in, but he's never actually been on the video show.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Skip, I can teach a cranky old broad new tricks.
Well. Okay, so I'm going to share this real quick just because Bill sent it to me. So this is from Planet of Vapes, which I normally don't. I specifically go out of my way not to share links from vaping news sites just because some of them have been less than accurate at times. They say things we like. Plus, we're a vaping show, and if we play in that pond too much, then people are going to say, "Well, you're staying in your own team, or you're not going outside." But the Vaping Trade Association of New Zealand, VTANZ, I don't know if there's a way to pronounce that. VTANZ is, has lamented that the government appears to be digging in on its vaping bill that only helps smoking. The organization's disappointment has been shared by, and I definitely can't say Oateria Vapors Community, AVCA, which says the government has missed a huge opportunity to achieve smoke-free 2025. Let's see. AVCA was formed in 2016 by vapors across New Zealand, wanting their voices heard in local and central government, and it is clear of any affiliation or vested industry. All of its members are former smokers who promote vaping to help smokers quit. So they're like the CASA of New Zealand.
Correct.
Here's a quote. Knowledge. It is unfathomable that the select committee was so blind by the emotive rhetoric about perceptions of youth vaping that they refused to acknowledge the actual facts and statistics relative to New Zealand and youth smoking and vaping rates. And that is from Nancy Locus, who is the AVC. So that's like the Julie Wassner of New Zealand.
Who just followed me on Twitter, by the way. That's bragging.
Oh, yeah. Aren't you special?
That's right.
So that comment came following the Kiwi Parliament's Health Select Committee tabling its report on the smoke-free environments and regulated products amendment bill. The government's bill to regulate vaping won't bring New Zealand any closer to its smoke-free ambition, says MPs now get in behind many submitters and intervene to drive down the country's smoking rate, said VTANZ spokesperson Jonathan DeVere. The hundreds who submitted calling for changes to help more Kiwis quit smoking are really disappointed. What's more, 200,000 adult vapors in NZ, as Paul would say, are set to be unnecessarily inconvenienced, so much so that without easy access to specialist vape stores to buy preferred flavors, many will sadly return to smoking, which is something that we've said many times. But I really don't know what this bill did. There's not really anywhere in here that I can see what the actual. It says they tabled it, but they didn't say what the proposed bill would do. So I'm assuming that this is going to screw people.
Yeah. Well, of course. And Dave Cross is Jim McDonald quality. The writer, I wrote I tagged the website of theirs, Planet of the Vapes.
Yeah.
So,
let's see what else. There's an Australia and a Pakistan. So we talked about the Therapeutic Goods Administration in Australia being a little bit hinky over the past couple of weeks. Paul had sent a link to a press release last week that we showed. So Bill says that bill in New Zealand looks that it's a flavor ban. So the Australia Heat Not Burn was not approved. Australia's Therapeutic Goods Administration. Excuse me, that beer is good.
Drink.
I already. Oh, there's a little bit left. The Therapeutic Goods Administration on June 10th, in an interim decision, rejected a request by Philip Morris Australia to adjust nicotine regulations in a manner that would allow the company's Heat Not Burn product to reach store shelves. Currently, only combustible products such as cigarettes and cigars are permitted to be sold in Australia.
That's right.
So, yes. Obviously, we've already talked about the draconian BS when it comes to Australia. The fines and the way they will destroy your life if you try to own a vape shop or sell vape products in Australia.
I think when you turn 16 in Australia, you're issued a pack of cigarettes. Bruni could probably verify that, but I think the government.
Well, I don't know. It's been so long since Bruni was 16.
His beard's that old.
So Pakistan, which like India, is backwards when it comes to certain things. And I've never been to Pakistan, but I have been to India. My eyes watered like immediately upon getting off of the plane. Like there was so much crap in the air already. Yeah. And literally everybody, when I was there, it was in the mid 90s. Everybody smoked. Right. But the air quality was already awful. Pakistan's right there beside it. So obviously their air sucks too. But yeah, I'm going to share this one. There, boom. So this is government must discourage import of cigarettes and ban e-cigarettes. As the country is producing more tobacco in 2020 than in 2019, the government must discourage unbridled import of cigarettes and tobacco. Pakistan Tobacco Board has estimated increase in the production of flu-cured Virginia and dark-cured Virginia. Dark-cured Virginia is actually a pretty good tobacco flavor, by the way. Dark-cured Rustica and the white Pata. The PTB has projected 6.5% increase in output of flu-cured Virginia tobacco, 3.7% increase in dark-cured Virginia, and a 24% growth in the production of white Pata. Let me hit the read more button, get past this. The board has already urged. Okay, so what they're saying is you got to reduce the amount of tobacco that you're letting people import because we need to sell the shit that we have. And you need to ban the sale of e-cigarettes in our country because we have all this tobacco that we have to sell.
Well, they don't worry about a black market in Australia either. You know that, right?
No, this is Pakistan.
Oh, Pakistan. I don't know about them.
Yeah. I imagine they probably have a pretty vibrant black market there as well. No. The board had already urged the tobacco growers of the country to make deals with local cigarette manufacturing and tobacco exporting companies well in time to sell tobacco crop. However, the growers are of the opinion that the government should impose heavy taxes on imported cigarettes and discourage their smuggling, as well as promote domestic tobacco crop, its output, and timely sale to the local companies. Exactly what I just said. We don't want you importing tobacco because we already make our own and we need to sell our own.
That's right.
So that's essentially what that said there. So these measures would not only increase income of 75,000 families whose livelihood depends on cultivation of tobacco, but also lead to further increase in the production of crop, reducing dependence on the imported cigarettes and tobacco. Stakeholders in tobacco sector also think the government should heavily tax the multinational tobacco companies involved in the import of cigarettes and tobacco with the aim to promote local tobacco cultivation in exports and local tobacco companies. Important to note, it is the multinational companies shift their profits abroad, whereas Pakistani companies reinvest their profit within the country. So yeah, I mean, obviously, this is so.
China's proprietary; they're proprietary. Yeah. Period. That's the way it is.
There's a discussion here about the tobacco market of Pakistan, but we're going to skip to this one. It says about 22 countries in the world have slapped a ban on the sale of smoking of e-cigarettes. I hate that, smoking of e-cigarettes. While another 6 countries have placed restrictions on the sale and use of these hazardous cigarettes. The countries that have banned e-cigarettes are India, Indonesia, Turkey, Malaysia, Argentina, Brazil, Brunei, Cambodia, Colombia, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Mexico, Panama, Philippines, Qatar, Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, Uruguay, Venezuela, Vietnam, whereas America, Japan, Norway, Australia, Canada, I said Norway already, Hong Kong, Norway's on there twice. America, Japan, Norway, Australia, Canada, Norway, and Hong Kong have put curbs on vaping.
They have?
Yes. curbs.
That's where you have to smoke, is at the curb.
In San Francisco for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, this is essentially the government trying to force people away from a harm reduction product, away from importation of tobacco, so that you are stuck smoking their tobacco.
Yeah. China.
And yeah, it's redonkulous.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Not funny.
Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, so back to okay, so we're gonna have to get Bill on here in a future show, because he's got a ton of perspective that is different than our perspective. And he has a lot more time to find shit that I used to do what Bill does, but I'm old and tired and I work too many hours now.
And he's smarter than we are, so.
Sure. Yeah. We're gonna have to get Bill on the Geek Show as well, because
good.
He likes a different kind of sci-fi than what Phil likes. So we're going to have to get him on so that we can get his perspective about his sci-fi stuff. Paul wants to come on. I think Paul and Bill will come on together because they both kind of like the same stuff.
Sweet.
Some of the same stuff. But anyway, not tomorrow. I'm not doing a show tomorrow. So anyway, we covered everything. Anything you want to talk about that we didn't already talk about?
No, sir. We're all good.
So what are your final thoughts tonight, sir?
I know there's a lot of people working awfully freaking hard to we're not industry. I keep saying this because it feels that way, for it to survive first and then thrive. I don't know what's coming down the line, and I keep saying the same thing every week. It seems like join CASA if you're a consumer. Support your local vape shop if you have one around you, if you still have one at all, and then if they're around you, and if you're in industry and you don't know what's coming, if you're going to start a vape shop this week, it's probably not a good idea unless you do your research. They can't lie about this forever. What I'm afraid of is that they're going to lie long enough for it to go away. Now, we know it won't go away for the people that are doing it and that are on these type of shows, and the networks that you've created over the years, me since 2014, Patrick since 2011 or 10 or something. Somebody's going to say, well, if you call Bob will probably be able to get you some. So the black market is going to be there. You know that. But the smoker who wants to choose to not smoke with this is very serious. It's not a joke to me. And one of my bookmarks I didn't actually go over was vaping technology is nothing less than an answer for millions. It's a consumer movement despite government failure. You people who are in industry were not, sadly, the ones that introduced it to me, but I've met some of you, and I kind of like you because you're real. So I want you to do what James is doing in Ohio. I want you to do what Amanda's doing in Colorado and every freaking where else she pops in, what Nick is doing in Florida, what Fig's been doing in California. That network of people, you don't have to agree with them on everything. Listen to each other, communicate with each other, change the conversation with your local lawmakers and your state lawmakers. Talk to your state groups, give them some friggin' money. They don't have money. Money's running out. COVID is killing you. Well, I know it's killing you.
A lot of people ain't got money right now.
And it's sad, you know. So everybody wants money. I understand that. So you got to give where you can. So I chose to give mine to Ray last week. It's not because I want to feel important. It's because Ray was give him sanitizer, Char. Something. Give them something to understand and think about when you're talking to the lawmaker. What I said earlier is true, or Patrick, one of us, referenced. Half of the people that are there know what the MSA is, and half the people have no idea. They're not old enough. This Ashley girl in Florida is an AG. She looks like she's 20 friggin' years old. She doesn't know what that is. Even if she knows what it is, she doesn't understand it. So when the Heart Association comes in, they already know each other. They've had a relationship for years. They're a good organization, so the Karen van pulls up, and that's where it came. That Karen van thing is not a joke to me. The Karen van is tobacco-free kids and anybody that's supporting them, or heart or lung or cancer, and they automatically have an arrogant as they are sometimes, they have the backing of the government, period. The government funds them, for Christ's sake. So you're already fighting a battle that you're not supposed to win. So you got to be better at it. And I know it's hard. So as a consumer, that's what I'm trying to do is I retweeted as many as I could of Amanda the other day, because she was the focus that day, a few weeks ago, and still is Florida. Same thing with Nick down there. So support each other, talk to each other, communicate with each other, and change the conversation, period. That's it. That's all I got. And fuck Fig. And happy birthday, Fabi. He's a good boy.
He did not show up. I did not have to ignore him in the back room. But yeah, I mean, we had it was a mixed bag tonight. We had a lot of news. Some of it was good. We had we talked about a lawsuit in LA out west to fight against a flavor ban, which is probably the most awfully written flavor ban that I've ever seen. They ban everything. I mean, they literally could have just said ban of electronic cigarette products, because they banned everything with the language that they did. Obviously we have to amplify the efforts that are going on in Colorado right now to push back on getting this language put through as a ballot referendum, because the people in Colorado, the general public, are the people that will ultimately be making that decision if it goes through the House and the Senate, which probably will, because the governor said, I support this. We have to do better. We have to embrace the general public. We have to figure out ways to talk to them, because they're the ones that are going to make decisions like this. That's how they did it in San Francisco. That's how they got that San Francisco bill, is they put it through as a voter referendum and let the voters decide. There's a lot of things going on that we don't know. There's always going to be things that I don't know, that Kevin doesn't know, that Fig might know, because he's in the circle of power. He gets to go in there and listen. He may not be a mover and shaker, but he gets to hear things that we don't hear. But there's always something going on. And a lot of times we want to hear everything. We want to know everything that's going on, but we got to take a minute and realize that a lot of stuff happens in politics behind closed doors and we don't get to hear it. But yeah, the governor did support a vape tax last session, and it was killed in Texas. Doesn't mean that it's always going to happen, but a lot of times if a governor supports something, it's going to get through the House and Senate, especially if they're a liberal state and the majority of legislators are the same party as the governor. Yeah, the general public, they vote on emotion. They vote on fear a lot of times. And the general populace right now, we've talked about it so many times, 70% of the people polled believe that vaping is as harmful or more harmful than smoking now. So we have that to contend with. But anyway, yeah, good news, bad news. It's a mixed bag. Pakistan and India are not in America, but do we support the vapors in those countries? Damn skippy we do. They may not listen to my show on a regular basis, but the few that did during World Vape Day, there was India and Pakistan were in the stats. we stand with them, whether they know it or not. We are going to amplify their efforts on Twitter. We're going to share as much information to the listeners of the show, the viewers of the show, just to let everybody know that other people are fighting the same battles that we're fighting, and that we should be standing together everywhere in the world, no matter what dirt is under your feet, whether you're in America, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, the Philippines, Pakistan, India, all these countries. Those people are our brothers and sisters just as much as the people in America are. And we're going to fight for them. We're going to do everything that we can fucking do to make sure that smokers have options everywhere.
Yep.
Whether it's convenient or not. If that means that we fly the pirate flag, or we become bootleggers or vape leggers or whatever the fuck you want to call it, we're going to do what we need to do to save smokers. And that's the bottom line. Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for coming. Love you. Bruni, Kevin, Lutz, Troop, Skip, Bill, Char. There's more people, but those are the names that I can see right on the screen right now. Thank you guys for coming. The people that are listening on replay, thanks for listening. Share the podcast if you want to. Share the live stream if you want people to see it. Kevin sounds awful sometimes, but that's just the way it is. There's not anything I can do because he's a Luddite and does not really understand how technology works. It's hard to teach old dogs new tricks, but anyway.
That's right.
Everybody go and kiss your wife, your husband, your partner. If you got kids, go give them a kiss on the top of the head. You've got all weekend to enjoy family time, to do things you want to do. And just remember that Monday, all this shit starts all again, and the war does not end. Whether that's in September with the PMTA deadline or beyond, we're not going anywhere. But thanks, and we'll play a little video again to say goodbye. Love you guys.
See you.